Did you know there's a deluxe edition of Rubber Soul coming out?
Yep. The news on that dropped just this morning.
And I gotta say, October 2nd just cannot get here fast enough. Like, you can already go out into the wild and listen to Michelle Take One right now. I mean, I've probably spun it a dozen times today alone.
Same here. It is just so addictive.
Right. And honestly, for anyone listening to us right now, this announcement is, well, it's like walking through a house you've lived in your entire life. So when you hear a track like Drive My Car or Nowhere Man, you're getting a punch and a separation that was physically impossible to engineer before.
Exactly.
Just thinking about Norwegian Wood. George Harrison's sitar lines are going to have so much acoustic space, it'll feel like he's sitting cross-legged on the rug right in front of you.
Oh, absolutely. And you will notice a massive difference in the low end. Just listen to the clarity of the bass on these new mixes.
Oh, I can't wait.
Because the low frequencies don't have to fight for space with the kick drum on a single mono track anymore. Those iconic melodic lines finally get to breathe. And the vocal harmonies on Girl and In My Life.
Oh man, I'm just going to warn you, if I hear a wider, more immersive mix of the harmonies on In My Life, I will absolutely shed a tear.
You'd better keep the tissues handy then. The Dolby Atmos versions literally place you in the center of the room, with the sound just enveloping you from above and behind.
Incredible.
But as transformative as this digital restoration is, it can only clean up what was actually recorded. If you want to understand the true mindset of these guys at that creative crossroads, you have to look at what they left on the cutting room floor.
Yes. Let's crack open the vault. Because the Super Deluxe Expanded Editions are giving us 24 early session recordings.
Huge.
That includes 20 previously unreleased takes and 3 unreleased home demos.
It also includes the original mono mix, the original Capital US album version, and early versions of the contemporary double A-side single, which featured Day Tripper, and We Can Work It Out.
Hold on, I want to touch on the Capital US version for a second.
Oh yeah, the alternate track list.
Right. For anyone confused, back then, the American record label would butcher the original UK track lists just to maximize profits.
They carved them up completely.
Yeah, they actually removed some of the harder rocking songs from the US release and added acoustic tracks like I've Just Seen a Face, which totally changed the vibe for American listeners into this folksy acoustic aesthetic. It's wild that they are preserving that specific historical anomaly in this box set.
But it's a crucial historical context for how half the world experienced their evolution. But of course, the piece of history everyone is holding their breath for is the inclusion of a track called Little Girl.
Yes, a completely unheard, unreleased, and until now entirely unrumored John Lennon song outline.
It defies logic that something like this still exists.
That's what I'm saying. I am naturally skeptical. I mean, we are talking about the most documented, analyzed, bootleg, and over-scrutinized group of human beings in modern history.
Without a doubt.
People have written literal encyclopedias about what these guys ate for breakfast on a Tuesday in 1964.
Exactly.
How does a song outline just sit in a box for 6 decades without a single whisper leaking out to the public?
You really have to view it through the lens of their frantic reality back then. Think about their schedule. Write an album, record an album, film a movie, tour the world, do radio spots, repeat.
Exhausting.
They were generating ideas at a blistering pace. An idea like Little Girl might have been sketched out, put on tape, and then an hour later, Paul McCartney walks in with a totally different chord progression, and they immediately pivot.
Move on to the next thing.
Right. They were moving way too fast to catalog their own discarded thoughts.
So it's not like finding a lost masterpiece. It's more like historians using X-rays on the Mona Lisa and discovering a preliminary charcoal sketch underneath the paint.
Wow, yeah.
It shows you the trial and error. It shows you the dead ends they had to walk down to find the genius path.
That is a phenomenal way to frame it. You get to hear the raw, unfiltered friction of their creative process. You hear the mistakes, the hesitation, and the experimentation in real time.
So we've got the digital demixing magic and we've got the raw vault audio, but a massive component of this release isn't just audio you stream, it's heavily anchored in tangible, physical media. We are moving from the digital ether right back into the physical world.
Absolutely. The tactile experience of holding the music is front and center. And they are offering a pretty wide variety of formats. For someone who just wants the pristine new stereo mix in their car or on a standard turntable, there are 1 CD and 1 LP editions.
Standard issue, very nice. But what about the folks who want to jump into the deep end?
Then you step up to the 2 CD and 2 LP special editions, giving you curated session highlights alongside the new mix. And for the ultimate collectors, there are the massive 4 CD and 5 LP super deluxe editions, which give you the whole kitchen sink.
The unreleased takes, the mono mix, the Capitol version, everything.
Everything.
I noticed there's a Blu-ray option in the massive box sets, too.
Yes, the Blu-ray contains the high-resolution stereo audio, the spatial Dolby Atmos mix we discussed, and the promotional films for Day Tripper, and we can work it out.
Seeing those promo films cleaned up is going to be wild. But as a vinyl junkie, I have to bring up the special vinyl pressings.
Oh, they're stunning.
They're doing a limited edition orange vinyl that perfectly color matches the iconic, slightly psychedelic lettering on the album cover.
It's a beautiful aesthetic touch.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond that, they're offering a direct-to-consumer exclusive Zoetrope vinyl edition.
I love these. If you haven't seen a Zoetrope record before, it is essentially a printed optical illusion right on the surface of the vinyl.
It's so cool.
Yeah, when you put it on your turntable and it spins, if you look at it through your phone's camera or under a strobe light, the static images suddenly animate. It's like a moving cartoon playing right on the platter.
It is brilliant because it perfectly mirrors the mid-60s ethos of the album itself, pushing boundaries, experimenting with visuals and audio, and turning the medium itself into a playground.
Totally.
But while the vinyl is flashy, the real anchor of the Super Deluxe collection is the 88-page hardbound book.
Books and box sets can sometimes be an afterthought, just a few glossy photos. But this one sounds substantial.
It is a meticulously researched historical document. It contains rare session photographs, an exploration into the cultural background of late 1965, and detailed track notes for every single song.
See, that is exactly what I want. I want to know the granular details. Tell me what microphone was placed on the acoustic guitar on a Wednesday afternoon. I want the total immersion into their workflow.
Oh, you'll get plenty of that technical granular detail. But the true value of the book is actually the emotional weight of the text. It opens with a brand new introduction written by Paul McCartney.
Wow. Just picture him sitting down today, looking back across a span of nearly 60 years at this incredibly specific, vibrant moment of his youth. The hindsight he must have is incredible.
It is. And the editorial decision they made next is profound. Placed directly alongside Paul's new introduction is a foreword compiled entirely from John Lennon's own words.
Oh, that is powerful.
They meticulously curated John's reflections on this specific era, from various interviews and writings he did throughout his life.
Including the later years.
Yes, including the years long after the band dissolved, and he had time to analyze their legacy from the outside.
That gives me chills, honestly, because their dynamic was so incredibly complex. You have the intense teenage brotherhood, the unbelievable collaborative peak, the bitter public falling out, and the private reconciliations.
A lot of history there.
To have both of their distinct voices, Paul speaking from the present day and John speaking to us from the past, framing this album side by side, that elevates this from a simple reissue to a serious historical retrospective.
It provides a dual perspective that no historian could ever replicate. It's one thing to have a music critic explain the cultural shift the album caused. It is entirely different to read John and Paul articulating their own fears, ambitions, and artistic restlessness as they were actively breaking those boundaries.
It collapses time. You're reading their thoughts, you drop the needle on that orange vinyl, and suddenly you are hearing George Harrison and Ringo Starr with such crystalline clarity thanks to the AI demixing that it feels like you are sitting on the floor of the studio with them. It's a literal time machine.
It is preserving the raw humanity of the past by utilizing the absolute pinnacle of future technology.
Which brings up a fascinating thought. We've been marveling at how they built this monumental piece of art using only 4 tracks, physically slicing tape with razor blades.
Yeah.
Today, any teenager with a laptop has access to infinite digital tracks, infinite instruments, infinite chances to fix a mistake. And yet you have to wonder, does having 0 limitations actually stifle creativity?
No, that's a great point.
Like, did the severe, suffocating constraints of a 4-track machine in 1965 actually force John, Paul, George, and Ringo to be more inventive, more deliberate, and ultimately more genius than if they had unlimited options? If you can do anything, maybe you end up doing nothing at all.
That is the ultimate paradox of art. Sometimes the cage is what teaches you to sing.
Something to chew on while we wait for October 2nd.
Wait, I almost forgot to mention our Beatles store.
Yeah, we've collected our favorite Beatles treasures all in one place. The link is in the video description and the first comment.
It's a great way to support this channel and get some great prices on some Beatles merch.
Lots of great gift ideas for that Beatles fan in your life.
Yeah, and if you see something you like, you can treat yourself.
Yeah.
The link to our store is in the video description and the first comment.
And if you have a browser handy, go to BeatlesRewind.com and that will get you to our store.
Beatles forever.
Until next time, when you listen.
Your mind conducts its own symphony.